Hi, my name is Sarita.
And my name is Rena.
We are both past patients with Mexico Bariatric Center, and we are here to break the stigma of having weight loss surgery in Tijuana, Mexico. We will be covering all things bariatric to help you get the most out of this weight loss journey.
Hi, friends!
Hello.
Hi! On today's episode, we're going to be talking about relationships.
With your friends and family and possibly partners.
Yes, all relationships. And
Right.
so, can you stomach this?
Yes.
Yes, you can. It's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, this is a difficult subject for some.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it is.
It is.
Because relationships improve and some maybe dissipate. So
yeah,
let's just dive into that.
Yeah.
So let's go.
So maintaining healthy relationships is vital to your support system.
Yes, it really is because, stress hinders weight loss.
Right.
And one of the biggest things we stress about in life is our relationships.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk about a little bit about support. So, did you tell anybody you were having surgery?
No, I told no one. Absolutely no one.
Yes, we've mentioned this before many times, but let's just put it in this episode, right? Mm-hmm. And so I did tell people I had a decent small support system. I think it's important to keep your support system small.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, especially because you're learning to navigate, and sometimes you're learning to navigate the journey, and sometimes a lot of input is too much input.
Yeah, too much advice.
Yes, too much advice.
And it's not even the correct advice.
True.
It's actually their opinion. Like, you shouldn't do this. You should do this. Why are you doing this?
Yes.
Lots of questions.
Sometimes I think it's good to keep your circle small until you kind of figure it out.
Right.
So I had two previous patient friends. My one friend that told me about MBC, and then also my friend that I went to college with who had surgery with MBC, and I didn't know it until after I was already booked, and then we figured it all out. Mm-hmm. So she had Dr. Gutierrez. So she was supportive. And then I told my immediate family. I have 5 children, so of course my children knew, my husband knew, and like my mom. I think that was like the gist of that.
I kept it from everyone.
Yeah. And so I served in the church, and I told just our small admin team about it. And so it's just literally maybe, other than like my kids, it was less than like 10 people.
Well, my cousin had it in the States,
mm-hmm.
and I did reach out to her after.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I wasn't part of the Facebook group, so she was really my only support. But her experience was totally different than mine. And then, of course, my friend had it there, but I never reached out to her.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one that recommended me to go there. But it wasn't horrible. I mean, I wasn't part of the Facebook group,
mm-hmm.
so it was not horrible.
I did also have the Facebook group.
Yeah, I didn't have that. I had nothing.
Yeah, I did have that. And the Facebook group is both great and it can be kind of not great sometimes.
It can be scary to some people.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what to expect, and you're relying on what they're posting on Facebook.
Right.
So my advice to that is just have an open mind,
mm-hmm.
and that's someone else's experience. It's probably not going to be yours.
Right.
Just go in with an open mind.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. And when you're in those first stages,
mm-hmm.
you read one person's maybe somewhat not so great experience or something
mm-hmm.
like that,
or something that happened to them that most likely won't happen to you.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't happen to anybody.
Right.
And then you also have to look and see, like, well, maybe this person, maybe they did something, because that happens too. Like,
or they have higher expectations. It's like you're going to a hospital that's not in the United States, care's different, everything's mm-hmm. different, and they're expecting something totally different and didn't meet their expectations.
Yeah, we all perceive things differently.
Right, we do.
For sure. Mm-hmm. So, and then, so moving through my journey, like before, during, and after, I really just had that same group. Of course, after surgery, I also had like my surgery sisters.
Oh yeah, I did have a couple people.
Yeah. So you did have them. That's great.
Yeah.
And so I did have them, and that's kind of where I was with that. So,
Mhm.
but relationships do change.
Definitely changed.
So, what kind of relationships change, Sarita?
For me, so some of my friendships changed.
Mm-hmm.
I did lose some friends, and I think part of that was jealousy, envy. I became more, confident and stronger. Um,
You gained some friends.
yeah, I did gain some. Yes, I did gain some friends.
Lots of them.
And like as far as family, like my kids didn't even know I had surgery until just like recently.
I know that blows my mind.
And it's been almost 6 years. Yeah. I wasn't in a romantic relationship, but I have had a relationship since, and no issues there. So
Yay.
yeah, but I am single now.
Yeah, and then social networks, right?
Yeah.
Like colleagues, coworkers,
Right.
those relationships may
Right.
change, or like your relationship with your boss might change, or even in like church or clubs or organizations, your status in that may change.
Or if you have school age children and parent interactions.
Yeah,
I don't have any school
like
age
sports
children.
moms.
Yeah, sports moms or being the room mother.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the den mom in
right.
different organizations, that kind of thing. So all those relationships they may change.
They do
as you change.
Some good, some bad, some indifferent. So it everybody's different
for sure. So let's talk about why relationships change.
So I feel like we behave differently, and our whole life has changed. And so others begin behaving differently towards us. And, we're prioritizing our time differently. We have less time to like sit around and like watch TV or maybe go out to eat and drink and things like that. Like we're out doing new things. We're out, maybe doing more exercise, new adventures, new activities, things that we've never tried before.
Right.
Because we have that confidence and that strength.
Yeah, we do. It's one of, we're living our best lives after surgery, really. I am. I'm living my best life.
Me too.
And so, sometimes things that I used to do, I don't really do anymore. It's not because I'm not interested in those things, and I don't think I've changed in a negative way. I'm just capable of more.
Right, and like I said, your priorities change.
Yes.
You eat differently. You just everything's different.
Yes.
You have new attitude. You look different, new appearance. Your confidence levels are really high.
Right. I used to plan activities based on not having to do mobility things, and now I more so plan events and activities on going out and doing things,
like new things.
Yeah, like even something as simple as bowling.
Right.
But like me and my family, we would go hiking, and that's not something we did prior to weight loss at all. That was like a joke.
Like running a 5K. I did a 5K last year, and that was my first one, I think, since I had surgery, and it was so much easier than prior to surgery. I could actually run the whole time.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And you just, you're just rocking it. You're just killing it. And, one of our biggest struggles is how we're perceived by others. We struggle with that.
We do.
We struggle with how other people see us. It's natural to do that.
Right. I mean, some people are envious, jealous of our weight loss, and kind of take it out on you, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, so like if we went into like what's happening in our relationships, like what's going on with these relationships, like are they changing? Are they
toxic?
Are they toxic? So what's happening there? Like you said, jealous and envy happens a lot.
You lose friends. You maybe aren't as close to some friends because you're not, doing things that you did prior to. They may try and sabotage you.
Yes, this is
pull you back into those old negative habits.
Yes, and people get jealous and envy of it's not just your weight loss, like necessarily like you've lost weight and I can't lose weight. It's everything. maybe they have lower mobility and you're able to get out and go do these things and they can't do that.
Or less self-confidence.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. And being skinny shamed is a real big one.
Okay, so that had happened to me in public. I was at the grocery store and I ran into a friend for 20 years. We've been friends. And just very loud, "You are so skinny." And then she proceeded to tell everyone in the whole store around us the same thing. "Doesn't she look too skinny?" It was humiliating.
That's
I was
horrible.
so embarrassed.
That is embarrassing.
It was very embarrassing.
Yes.
But it's not the first time it happened. Just yesterday, a man, we were at the farmer's market, yelled to me, "Hey, skinny!"
Yep.
And everyone turned around.
I know.
It was very embarrassing.
I watched that happen.
She watched it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why did he feel the need to call you that?
Right.
Yeah. But some people would like that. Some people would look at that as a compliment.
Right. They might.
So we all feel differently. Right. About.
But then last month when we went to the fall festival, all of the vendors I knew said, "Oh, you still kept the weight off."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
So why'd you even say that?
Yeah. Why did you say that?
I don't know.
And those were people that used to be your friends that you hung out with,
right?
Talked to
weekly.
Yeah. And then, so another thing happening with relationships, and we kind of mentioned this already, is that you just start not having things in common,
right?
And that happens with friendships, family members, partners. You just kind of don't do things the same. Right. With them that you used to do.
Right.
And we did touch on that already.
Right. I mean, you want to try new things and you want to be more physical and active, and you don't want to sit on the couch and watch TV.
Right. And so then, if that was us in that situation, I'd be like, well, why won't you just come over and have and drink and grill out with me?
Right.
Why can't you just do that?
That's all changed too sometimes.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. You don't want to do those things. And another thing going on with our relationships, our hormones are a cluster mess.
Yes, they are.
Yes. So rapid weight loss kind of wreaks havoc on the hormones.
Yes, it does.
Or can potentially for most people. And so your hormones are a little over the place, and some people may not know how to handle you. Like, you could be really happy one day, and the next day you might not be, or you might be moody.
But at some point, it will even out.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll be able to maintain that.
Yeah, once you get into the maintenance phase of weight loss,
right,
usually your hormones will level back out. Yeah. But it's kind of like going through those cycles for women. It's like one long cycle sometimes.
I don't know
for some people.
It probably doesn't happen for men.
Their hormones do change, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we all have them.
Seems like we have more.
We do. Ours kind of act up more.
Yeah.
I should say.
Yes.
So, and then, another thing going on, especially, and this one is true for a lot of parents and partners and some friends, but mostly parents and partners, is guilt for maybe creating the weight problem.
Right.
Like, especially
like
enabling,
your child to just eat whatever they want and not help them make healthy choices at a young age, and then next thing you know, they're overweight, and
or maybe even force feeding them,
right? Or like clean your plate,
like eat all your food,
right.
Or doing. But you told them to eat all that food, but you really fixed them too much to start with, and then. Right. Or the whole when you're putting supper away and you're just like, well, there's only a spoonful of potatoes. Here, little John, eat the rest of it. And little John already had a big plate of food, I mean,
as a child, we were told to clean our plate.
Yes, I know. So that's how most people are raised.
Right.
And it's not really...
Well, yeah. I mean, my parents were born in the time of the Depression, I guess. And so... they didn't have a lot of food back then, maybe. And so, they're like, clean your plate,
Yeah. And so, especially parents, they kind of, but sometimes partners too, they may be feeling guilty they see you thriving, they see your weight loss, and they think, if I'd have done something different, they could have been like this a long time ago or whatever. But it's not their fault. They didn't know better.
Right.
Usually.
Right.
I'd say 99% of the time. And a lot of times, something going on with the relationships is maybe their disapproval of you having surgery. Maybe parents didn't want you to have surgery, or maybe they thought you took the easy way out, or maybe they felt like because you're losing weight now you're not healthy, or
you could have done it with diet and exercise.
Yeah, maybe they just completely disproved of the whole thing, and so now, you're struggling with that person because they have their negative feelings about what you did.
Right. And it's really, you're taking your health. You're taking charge of your health.
Right.
So it's your body, your choice.
It is, and at the end of the day, that bariatric surgery, especially a gastric sleeve, really any of them, but especially a gastric sleeve, the long-term effects of it are essentially non-existent compared to the long-term effects of obesity.
Right.
Like, there's just, you can't compare the two.
Right.
There's so many things that having the surgery will help or cure or whatever, or prevent, and you're so much more unhealthy from being overweight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be 60 on my next birthday.
No, she won't.
I will. And I take no medicine, no medication. This is the healthiest I've ever been.
I guess she will be, but I do not believe her.
It's true.
I don't believe her.
Yes.
She doesn't act 59.
Oh, thank you.
At all. I don't buy it. So anyway, I mean, maybe in maturity, but nothing else. I don't believe it.
Thank you.
All right, so let's talk about unwanted attention. Was that unwanted attention when I said that about your age?
No, not really.
Because I feel like I say it all the time.
No.
Every time you say it, I'm like, I don't believe you.
I get that a lot. I tell people how old I am, and they're like, "You are not."
You got good genes.
I mean, my daughter's 37. And
see, she doesn't look 37.
And sometimes we get mistaken for sisters.
I can see that.
So yeah.
I don't see her as 37 either.
Oh no.
Maybe in her 20s,
Yeah.
late 20s, early 30s. So let's talk about unwanted attention. How do you handle unwanted attention? What is, well, let's say, I want to say this again. We said it earlier, but we all feel differently about the types of attention we get. Somebody calling you skinny, that you were like, why would you say that to me? And somebody else be like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just different, and you can't walk around in eggshells with people all the time. There's no defined way to treat somebody who's lost weight. Right. But you can definitely, if you're not a bariatric patient and you're maybe somebody who loves a bariatric person, then just know there's no defined way. You just need to watch your loved ones' reactions or have the conversations with them. So, what do you say to people who don't know you've had surgery, that maybe saw you losing weight and they're giving you all this attention because you're losing weight? What do you say to them?
It did take me 18 months to lose, to get to my goal weight. So it wasn't super fast, in 6 months, So I think it was a little bit easier for me. I'm eating smaller portions, more protein. I exercise. Yeah. So, I mean, if I had lost 100 pounds in 6 months, it would, be a little bit different, I think.
Yeah, it's like me. I did that. Right. So, yeah, I did get that a lot. I got how are you losing weight? Oh my gosh, you're looking so good. How are you losing weight? And I don't want to tell people, every person I encounter, that I had surgery. It's it's an in passing moment, and so a lot of times I say smaller portions, which is not a lie.
It's not. And more protein is not a lie. More exercise is not a lie.
Yeah.
Right? It's all true.
It's all very true. And that's, now if it's somebody who is also struggling with weight loss, then I'll take the time to tell them, because
I've done that.
I've watched them struggle too, and maybe they want to know for their own health, reasons, and to be for their own journey.
Right.
But some people, they just, they don't really want to know for themselves. They're really just being nosy.
Yes, they are.
Right? They're just being nosy.
I mean, there's some people who don't even know I still had surgery. It happened such a big amount of time.
Yeah. I used to think that people didn't know I had surgery, and it doesn't matter whether I've confirmed it or not to people. I feel like at this point, if you don't lose 210 pounds naturally. I mean, you can,
Yeah.
but most people don't. And so, um, if you don't know I had surgery at this point, then you're probably oblivious to the fact that surgery exists, or you at least assume that I've had surgery.
Right.
And I don't even care anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So then there's the unwanted attraction,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So some people like unwanted attraction. So Sarita and I might be walking through the market, and some dude starts flirting, and I might think that's repulsive. Don't flirt with me. And Sarita might be like, "Oh yeah, bring it on." So
I'm a very social person, and sometimes I'm oblivious to what's going on around me. And I don't even realize that's happening, but I mean, because it's so subtle.
Well,
right?
Yeah, then you got those blatant
that's
hits,
not
direct hits.
That's uncomfortable.
That is uncomfortable for anybody, but for somebody who has been overweight a lot, that's less likely that they've had those hits before. And so, I mean, not that they didn't, because believe me, that happens even when you're overweight, but I mean, it may be happening more often,
well, very
and
much.
It may be unwanted.
Right.
Not only by you, but maybe by your partner.
Right.
Or maybe by your friend. Maybe your friend used to get hit on, and now you're getting hit on.
Yeah, so there's some jealousy
that
there.
May create some jealousy and some tension. Yes.
Yeah.
And so sometimes with that, there's that unwanted attraction. You just have to navigate that the best way that you can. And then what about overpraising? Do you ever get overpraised? Yes. And that's different for everybody too, because some people, and what I mean by overpraising is just the constant, oh my God, you look so good. It's like constant, right?
Like, on a weekly basis.
Yes. It's like I can't even see a person at all ever and it not
be about your weight.
Be about my weight.
Right.
Ever.
Like let's talk about something else.
Yes. I have family. I have people, and it's like every time I see them, it's all about my weight loss. And it's like, so what's the weather outside?
Let's change the subject.
You know what I mean? And they do it sometimes in front of people who don't even know that I've lost weight. And so it's like, now we have to explain to this person that I used to weigh 400 pounds. Do we have to do this every time?
Right.
And so how do we deal with this? How do you deal with unwanted attention, Sarita?
Change the subject. Deflect.
I'm good at deflecting.
You could walk away.
I'm good at that. How's the weather?
Yeah, or walk away.
I've definitely walked away because, look at the time. I gotta go.
And I think if you know that person really well, you could let them know how you feel about the attention and just, nicely say, can we not always talk about my weight every time I see you?
Right.
In a nice way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Or just a quick, you're doing good, and move on. But it doesn't just have to be over.
That's what happened at the market. Every single vendor I talked to, that was the first thing they said. Oh, I see you're keeping your weight off. That was the first thing they said to me. Not even, hey, how are you?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And for sure, talk to them. If it's like your parent or if it's your partner or one of your really closest friends, family members, for sure, just tell them how you feel.
Yeah.
It's great. That's a good thing. Listen, guys, it's not all bad. There are positive relationship changes.
Yeah.
So let's get into that because, let's go into the great things. You do tend to get treated better by other people.
Right.
Particularly strangers.
Yeah, strangers. And it's sad that this is a thing, but you get treated better.
And I want to say this. I don't necessarily think that it's about weight loss, although I do fully believe that it has something to do with it.
Partially.
Because I do believe that overweight people are probably some of the most discriminated people in the world. But I do believe that it also has to do with the fact that you carry yourself with more confidence.
Yeah, you do, absolutely.
And it's your perception.
It's your inner strength coming
Yes.
out.
So even before, someone may have walked by and said something to you, and because of your own perception being coming from a place of feeling less than, then now you don't have that, and they could literally have the exact same tone, mannerisms, and everything, and you may perceive it differently.
Right.
So just building your self-confidence changes your perception as well.
Absolutely.
I have also found that you get more respect, particularly like in the workplace and socially.
Socially, yes.
In the workplace, I've found that people go from thinking, oh, she can't do that because she's overweight, to not even asking me if I can or can't.
Right.
Or more so, people used to do things for me a lot, and I noticed that they don't do those things for me.
Thinking you couldn't do it because you had mobility issues.
Right. And I did have some, but there was things I could do, but they still would just do it for me.
Right.
And I feel too like even like socially, you just get more respect. That goes back to being treated better by others, in particular strangers, but also social people that you know, not necessarily a stranger, but not a friend, not even an acquaintance. Just like if people that you see, you just get more respect, and then also you have better physical relationships.
Yes, you do.
You have more mobility, and you
feel better about yourself, and yes, you have more mobility, and you just it's all so much better.
Is that what you're going to say about that?
Well, I don't know what to say. Are we using the word sex?
I don't care.
Okay.
Yes,
you have a better sexual relationship.
What about just physical intimacy?
Yes, physical intimacy. It goes hand in hand.
You said it perfect last night. Yes. I feel like a child now.
You're fine.
This conversation was fine until we got on camera.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, anyway. So you have better physical intimacy.
Yes.
That's a good way to say that, right?
Yes, and we all know what that means.
We do.
Right.
Exactly.
I just said the words.
I don't know. Can we say that on camera?
Yes, we can.
On YouTube, will they cut us?
No, it's a true statement.
I mean, sex is in the dictionary, right?
Right.
Whatever.
And a lot of our patients will post that on Facebook. So there you go.
True story.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I have a new haircut.
See? Building confidence.
Anyway, so you have more mobility, you have whatever, and then also building stronger relationships when you have you build stronger relationships. So like the relationships, whether they're pre-existing relationships or whether they are new relationships, because of your own new confidence and self-worth.
Right, you carry yourself differently.
You do. The bonds that you build with people are usually stronger,
right?
Because of your own confidence. And so, what are some things we can do about relationship changes, both, good or bad? What can we do?
I think counseling or therapy is something that you can do. I did it. I was in counseling prior to surgery, during surgery, after surgery, and that helped with some of my relationships. It was very helpful.
That's great.
I probably. You can learn to walk away from, relationships that dissolve. If they become toxic, learn to walk away.
Yeah. You may need to leave behind some of those toxic styled relationships to create more affirming and positive relationships, and that's okay. It's not about the surgery. Prior to surgery, we all have had friendships that dissolve. You may have been best friends with one person through this period of your life, and then that may dissolve, and because you grow and change,
you're evolving constantly.
Yeah, and it's not even about surgery. It's that growth when you grow and change, you sometimes grow and change out of relationships, both partners and friendships and
Right. And family.
relationships.
Right.
Yep. Your family dynamics may change some,
Right.
and that's okay. But one of the things that I want to say here too is that this is your opportunity. One of the most important relationships that, if you're a parent, one of the
Right.
most important relationships that you have is with your children. And so you want to take this time to become a role model for your kids, not only by creating healthy habits like for food and exercise and things like that, but also emotional connections and things. If your children are watching you be a doormat because the relationship is no longer serving you,
You don't want them to see
Right,
that or learn that or think it's okay.
right? If they're watching you stress constantly over the turmoils in relationships, then you're teaching them. Little eyes are always watching.
Oh, always.
Watching.
And it's not normal to, be treated that way.
Right.
And you don't want them to see that because it's not normal.
Right. And so, at the end of the day,
happiness is something everybody should have.
Exactly. It really is.
Yes.
And also, even more so at the end of the day, like when you're going to bed, the most important relationship that you can ever have is the relationship with yourself.
Yes.
Yes. Taking care of yourself will help build you to be the person you need to be to move on in your journey.
Embrace you.
Yes, always embrace you.
Live your best life.
True.
You only get one life.
True.
Live your best life.
If there's anything I could get out of life that I don't have, it would be more time.
Yes, I agree. And I think that I wish I had done this surgery sooner.
Me too.
I waited till I was 53.
Well, I was 39.
Yeah, so I just wish I had done it sooner. But everything happens for a reason. And I am living my best life.
38.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway.
Yes.
I am too, and I love it.
Me too.
So, drop us a comment. Tell us about your experience with the relationships post-bariatric. We would love to hear from you. If you have any questions or want to share your bariatric weight loss journey, you can call or text us at 480-999-4826 or send an email to podcast@mexicobariatriccenter.com. You can also follow Mexico Bariatric Center on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Keep in mind, these are the opinions of the host. The views represented do not reflect or define the values of Mexico Bariatric Center. This podcast is sponsored by Emerge Bariatrics and Mexico Bariatric Center. Please visit mexicobariatriccenter.com for more information.